We're like 10 minutes late. We're still having technical difficulties. Nicco's still not in the studio yet, but we're still more professional than the GOP second debate was. And we call it the vice presidential debate because we all know what's really up. Aquarian Anarchy coming right back at you. Let's get it. Quote from tonight is from none other than my birthday buddy, Lysander Spooner. A man is no less a slave because he is allowed to choose a new master once in a term of years. So the question is, do you vote or do you just watch this shit show and laugh? Because
I watched this shit show and am bored out of my mind.
It's like we have to come and try to make jokes so that it's actually funny, because when they try to write their own jokes, oh my God, holy cow. Between Mike Pence and Chris Christie, like, I swear, man, like, holy cow, they make The Room look like a good movie.
Right.
Man,
dude, it was awful, man.
I think Donald Duck could have landed, but like Hotep Jesus said, like you can't like set it up and like give away the punchline first and then come back and then try to deliver the punchline. Like, what are we, kindergartners? You have to say like he's ducking this stuff, and if he's not careful, they're gonna stop calling him Donald Trump. They're gonna start calling him Donald Duck. Get it? Duck, because he's ducking. Like, bro, chill. Like,
I'll tell you what, the mafia doesn't have nearly the comedy background that I thought they had, obviously, because Chris Christie was an idiot.
The thing is, like, Chris Christie has like one of the best moments in the history of presidential debates.
Was there a donut involved?
And it was this was actually a great one where you don't remember when he made Marco Rubio's firmware just like reboot and everything, and he poured Coke all over his motherboard.
Black people are the best coordinators of time. I am not one of those black people. I apologize.
In Nicco's defense, the technical difficulty was all me. I couldn't get my computer to like actually load StreamYard, and so I was just like, it was a cluster, me getting on air at all. I was going to be just a picture and of a disembodied voice, but here we are. And so I made Nicco have to go do something because he wasn't already on air when he got beckoned.
I want to go do the locker trick where find a generator and just, you feel me?
Yeah.
It's all good now.
All right.
So, Chad, you were saying about Chris Christie in the last time.
So Marco Rubio was, it was the debate 2016 election, not 2020, obviously, because 2020 Trump was the incumbent, and so the Democrats were having the debate fiesta. But 2016 debate circuit, Chris Christie called out Marco Rubio because he had like this rehearsed line. I'm going to try to find it because I think it would be useful for everybody to see what we're talking about, where Chris Christie actually was on his game.
Yeah,
this
for sure.
Donald Duck joke was not it. And there was so much other stuff that it was just, do you remember the debate they had 4 years ago with Biden and Trump? And it was just the two of them yelling at each other and like, you shut up. No, you shut up. And all this stuff. And I was just like, y'all, like, this is great. This is actually great for America because the veil has finally been lifted on this charade. Like, they finally showed you that they don't give a damn about you and they're just talking shit. And they're finally not pretending to be sophisticated and actually give a shit about issues and how they're going to deal with them. Because when it all comes down to it, none of what they say is going to really matter because they got puppet masters pulling all the strings anyway.
Yeah,
they just say what's good. They just say what's really good or what's like mouth-watering. Like, I think what we're about to go to, instead of like actual debates, I mean, what is a political debate in the first place? I don't know. But this shit's about to turn into a reality TV show for sure.
For sure.
Like, for sure, this
World. Top Psychopath.
Yeah, they'll say psychopath, but like glitter it. Psychopath will be like brown, like the color of shit, but there's glitter on top of it.
For sure. 100%. 100%. Well, just in case people don't know, what we're talking about, there were several people on this stage that are really, really trying to be the next top psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that actually are polling worth of shit hardly talked, hardly said a damn thing. Which is probably by design, I would guess, because they all. I really do think that we're going to be looking at Ramaswamy as probably at least a cabinet position or the VP place, and Trump has hinted that might be a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and also if people don't put it together, we're not voting for any of these assholes.
Nope.
But I don't vote. I wouldn't care what the hell they say, because I don't believe any of it, because Chad's absolutely right. Nicco's absolutely right. They're going to promise anything they can. It's the same as when we were in school and you had your class government bullshit. They're promising us that we're gonna not have mass anymore, and we're gonna have, you know, free pops in the concession stand.
Water fountains are full of Red Bull and Gatorade.
Right. For sure, 100%. It's the same damn shit.
Yeah. So I will say this though, like there's some like local and like parish and like maybe a couple of state level elections where I'm looking at. I'm like, all right, so I actually know some of these people, and I can actually, like, you know, I've been dripping some anarchist honey in their ears and everything. And so, like, okay, I can help to, like, first of all, I know this person. And so I feel pretty good already about like where their mental and moral compass is pointed. But I also like have a certain degree of influence where I can, and I say influence more like I can just kind of say some stuff and I can hold them accountable. And call them out on some shit, you know, versus, you know, these people that I've never met them. I have no idea. They have no idea who I am. They don't give a shit if I say something to them or not, you know?
Right.
But I want to do this real quick before we move on, because this is the moment where I thought it was really funny, because Chris Christie really nailed this, and Marco Rubio was a terrible candidate, and Chris Christie destroyed his political career
with just 2 days until the New Hampshire primary. A new poll shows Donald Trump continues to dominate among Republican voters in New Hampshire. That poll also shows that there is no clear candidate when it comes to second place. 4 candidates are in a virtual tie. Second, John Kasich,
and
Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, and Ted Cruz are battling it out to be the runner-up. And last night, in the final debate before the New Hampshire primary, the candidates took their fight to the stage.
And Jeb Bush,
I like Marco Rubio,
this is it.
And he's a smart person and a good guy, but he simply does not have the experience to be president of the United States and make these decisions. We've watched it happen, everybody. For the last 7 years, the people of New Hampshire are smart. Do not make the same mistake again.
I think the experience is not just what you did, but how it worked out. Under Chris Christie's governorship of New Jersey, they've been downgraded 9 times in their credit rating. This country already has a debt problem. We don't need to add to it by electing someone who has experience at running up and destroying the credit rating of his state. But I would add this: let's dispel with this fiction that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. He is trying to change this country. He wants America to become more like the rest of the world. We don't want to be like the rest of the world. We want to be the United States of America. And when I'm elected president, this will become once again the single greatest nation in the history of the world, not the disaster Barack Obama has imposed upon us.
You see, everybody, I want the people at home to think about this. That's what Washington, D.C. does. The drive-by shot at the beginning with incorrect and incomplete information, and then the memorized 25-second speech that is exactly what his advisors gave him.
Watch this. This is the best.
See, Marco,
the epic takedown.
Marco, the thing is this. When you're president of the United States, when you're a governor of a state, the memorized 30-second speech where you talk about how great America is at the end of it doesn't solve one problem for one person. They expect you to plow the snow. They expect you to get the schools open. And when the worst natural disaster in your state's history hits you, they expect you to rebuild their state, which is what I've done. None of that stuff happens on the floor of the United States Senate. It's a fine job. I'm glad you ran for it, but it does not prepare you for president of the United States.
Chris, your state got hit by a massive snowstorm 2 weeks ago. You didn't even want to go back. They had to shame you into going back. And then you stayed there for 36 hours. And then he left and came back to campaign.
Watch, here it comes.
Those are the facts. Here's the bottom line. This notion that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing is just not true.
There it is.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
The memorized 25-second speech.
Well, that's the reason why this campaign.
You know what the shame is, Marco? The shame is that you would actually criticize somebody for showing up to work, plowing the streets, getting the trains run back on time, when you've never been responsible for that in your entire life.
Okay. He didn't want to go back.
And the fact is, I went
you're
back.
right. You can tell
and here's something. I went back. Oh, so wait a second. Is that one of the skills you get as a United States Senator? ESP also?
Chris, everybody, you said you weren't going to go back.
The fact is, Marco,
he told everyone he wasn't going to go back, and they had to shame him into going back.
Marco,
and then when he decided to go back, he criticized the young lady, saying, "What am I supposed to do? Go back with a mop?
By the way,
clean up the flooding?"
It gets very.
So anyway, that was their exchange. But do you see where Marco Rubio literally started saying the exact same little speech that Chris Christie had just called him out on seconds earlier? He just went right back into it. We have to dispel with this myth that Obama doesn't know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's like, bro, do you have anything else in your library? That's it? That's all you got? And Chris Christie needs to get those joke writers back on his team. Because the Donald Duck
they
joke
went and worked for
in church, man.
For sure. They went and worked for Trump.
Yeah.
that's what's happened to his shit. But I do have to say, as much shit as we've thrown at Chris Christie, he was better than most. And I'm not talking policy wise. None of these ass clowns.
No, he's just a gifted,
policy.
smooth-tongued lizard, like so many of the politicians that we have witnessed over the years.
Yeah, again, and Chad and I talked about this over the weekend. The winner of this debate was the Democratic Party. And the reason that the Democratic Party was the winner of this debate was because what they showed, Tim Pool's been talking about recently that what's going on is there's a lot of disaffected Democrats who see that Biden is a complete and total buffoon. He has completely lost his goddamn mind. He does not know what he's doing, all of that. But they don't want to vote for Trump. So they're hoping that one of these guys or girl, but probably guys, one of these guys becomes the VP. So then they can say, okay, I didn't really vote for Trump. I voted for this asshole. And, whichever one of them it is. And what they showed is that you can't trust any of these shit bags. Every damn one of them they were yelling at each other. They were talking over each other. They didn't, there was no organization. It was like, at all.
You thought you hated Trump. You're really going to hate these people.
Right. 100%. They all suck real bad. And I had a commentator on the version that I watched. I had a commentator and he said it perfectly about Mike Pence. He said, Mike Pence is where charisma goes to die. And that is absolutely the truth. This dude, some of the things he said, if he wasn't a damn robot, might have delivered well, but he was a robot and nobody believes him about anything. And so if you have not seen this debate, don't bother. I'm telling you, it is not worth your time because this is what all of them did. They yelled at each other and agreed for the most part that we need to continue blowing the shit out of the entire world and bringing ourselves to World War III. They all agreed about that. And the one person who really there were two, DeSantis and Ramaswamy, both were at least light on war. And to be honest, the guy from North Dakota, I don't even remember his name.
Doug Burgum. Yeah.
Doug Burgum. He didn't get to talk a lot. But but DeSantis and Ramaswamy, they may have been a little light on war, but they were certainly good on the police state. They're all about it. They want more police. Ramaswamy said he wanted to militarize the border.
Well, they gotta keep up with Trump saying you should shoot the looters, even if you got to shoot them in the back while they're running away or whatever. It's
for sure.
Damn, man, like that's where we are. Like it's
that shit's so fucked up. Like, come on,
this is that thing we've been talking about for like 3 years now about not becoming the monster that you claim that you're fighting. And I think people really need to recognize that. I know it simplifies things for us as human beings on this material plane to look at the elites or the Democrats or these people or the liberals or the left, whatever, the Antifas, the communists,
even the
government, Marxists, the government, whatever it is. Yeah. Yes, those things are the tools that are being used to bring about like some evil shit. But the evil shit comes from a different plane, a spiritual plane, and every human being who was created by God to be something else is a victim of that stuff. And the sooner we start to see that all the stuff that we can't stand that we see in the world is another human being who is a victim, who is falling to some temptation that is coming from something that is not in line with what we were created to be. And we can't fall into that same trap and do something against what we were designed and created to be.
Right.
And create destruction of our own just to fight their destruction because we're mad about it.
Right. The perfect example of exactly what you're talking about is Mike Pence. Mike Pence, he wants to wrap himself in the Bible. He wants to talk about how constantly, I'm with my wife and we're a good family and blah, blah, blah. And I follow the Bible and all of this stuff.
Quoting the Bible all the time.
Correct. Yeah. I got a quote for him. Thou shalt not kill. It's kind of one of those big ones.
I think what they use is like they use the technicality. I didn't kill him, but I'm gonna press this button. So like, I'm fairly sure that those jackasses, even though they print or they script from the Holy Scripture, they're very evident in the fact that none of them give a fuck. Like, how many of y'all been in office, and how long y'all been in office, and we still complaining about the same shit? Like, we have AI out here. I'm fairly sure we could put one of these goddamn prompts out here for an AI bot and it'd be able to figure it out.
Oh yeah, a whole lot better than these assholes. When Nikki Haley is this, and to be clear, that's who I think won the debate. When Nikki Haley, fucking Nikki Neocon Haley, is my choice of these assholes, not really. I'm not gonna vote for any of them.
What do you mean? Do you mean your choice as like the person who you think did the best, but not necessarily the person who you would be most likely to pull the lever for if you had to? Yeah.
Yeah. If I had a gun on my head, I think I'd vote for the guy from North Dakota just because. Hey, he didn't tell me he was an asshole. He didn't say enough.
Pull that fucking trigger, because think about it. If I had a gun to my head every time I went to the voting booth, and I was the kind of person I was, I'd be like, cool. Like, I wouldn't want to live in a dumb, like, dumb state. I don't want to live in a place like this, like, where we're arguing over super dumb things, like really, really trivial things that don't even matter. These niggas were just talking about, oh, well, what happened to you going out there to help help out with the snow that got snowed in? Well, he's not alone, number one. Number two, why does it have to be delegated from somebody higher up?
Right.
To be able to do all this shit.
Right.
No, that's what we did in down here when we had the flood. We had a flood back in 2016, and this kind of started a wave of this kind of stuff happening. But 2016, Baton Rouge flooded. It was horrible. Like, tons of people's houses were like completely underwater, up halfway up the roof. I luckily didn't get any water in my house, but like, and I don't have a boat, but if I did, I would have been doing this. And I got in somebody else's boat and went and helped some people. It's this little Cajun Navy that they drummed up.
Didn't they get in trouble for that shit? Because
it was crazy. So, well, they didn't get in trouble for it, but 2016 happens. The flood happens. I think it was in August of 2016. And, here come all these boats, and they just are going like sun up to sundown, just going through the water, pulling people out of their houses, getting them in the boat, getting them to safety, going back and getting more, just back and forth, trying to save the belongings that you can save, trying to get people's stuff upstairs or up off the floor or whatever, and then get them to safety. And they did that. Those guys were doing that like from when they woke up in the morning until late at night. And I because I didn't have a boat, I didn't do that. But I went with there was a neighbor that their kids, they were like in Houston, and their kids came and they put a little flat bottom boat, and I went in there and helped them. Like, we got all their guns out of their safe and put them up in their attic. Got this guy had like model trains and shit. We put all that stuff, all their picture albums, got them up so that they wouldn't get damaged by the water. And then when we were leaving to go back, after we had finished and I was going back to my house, this lady was like in her driveway with water coming up to her doorstep and not knowing when, she's got a suitcase. She's like, hey. So we like loaded her in the boat and took her with us. And then there was a little place where they were picking people up. They had these big like military vehicles and shit that they were like driving through the water with, which was terrible actually, because it just made waves that went into people's houses.
But did you need a governor to tell you to do that shit?
No. So they did all that stuff. They were doing that. I was just going and helping people gut their houses, all day after that, and like going back to my house strapped with like my sidearm and my shotgun right by the bed, and nothing but a box fan and a lamp, because I was running on the generator for like 3 weeks. We didn't have power. But these other people, like, I'm going and doing that like construction, destruction stuff, breaking people's houses down and everything. But there were other people that they were going like into the night, and then they would just go get enough sleep and then get back up in the morning and do it again, just going and rescuing people for days. And then after that, once the rescue was done, it was all about like getting people's houses gutted so that they didn't get mold and all that shit. But what happened after that was the Louisiana legislature, and it was a Republican. This is hilarious because like it's just so funny because this is the Republican, all the people who claim to be like free market and freedom and all this kind of BS. But God forbid some people go do some stuff without permission of the police and the governor and everything, and they're actually rescuing people. And if they had to if we had to wait for the police and the National Guard people and all that stuff, we'd have had like 1/10 of the people saved. But instead, people were just like, "Nah, fuck this, not on my watch. I'm going to save some people." You know? Well, they made it
unexpected anarchy.
A $300 permit to be, and then you had to be able to you had to go take a class and all this other kind of shit.
Y'all
so you get your $300 permit. And if you didn't have that permit on you and you were rescuing people, you might get arrested.
Yeah,
arrest me, please. But you're not doing your job saving this person while I'm doing your job. So who's at fault?
Yeah. Well, it's typical,
I get that you
man.
can have some people looting and doing other stuff that's not great, or maybe some people doing so. But I don't know. Like, we've gotten into such a weird place as a society where, like, if somebody's wrecked on the side of the road and they're hurt, we've made it to where you're in a worse position if you go try to help them.
Yeah.
Than if you just leave them.
It's because
if you go to try to help them and God forbid, you move them and they end up paralyzed or something like that, even though you're trying to help, they might sue you. Not because they are like assholes, but because some lawyer will get in their ear and say, you know what? You can go after them for this much money.
Right. For sure.
And that's all it is. And all that lawyer cares about is the 30 or 40% that they're going to get out of it.
Right. So back to this debate. One of the things that I because there wasn't none of that. None of these people.
There was no debate.
Right. They were just arguing about dumb shit and presented questions that were dumb shit. To be clear, I'm not saying that I'm not trying to defend these assholes that were on the stage, but one, they had two people with foreign, and I don't have nothing against foreign people, to be clear. So other people don't think I'm having some issues. But they had two people who had foreign, who sounded foreign on the fucking thing. The one Hispanic chick and then the dude from England. You know, can you not
you're talking about the moderators?
Yeah, can we not get a moderator from America for this shit? Damn. I'm just saying. You know.
Well, I mean, okay, so the Hispanic chick is probably from America. The other one,
right? Probably.
The other one is a dude who like used to I can't remember his name now, but he used to sub host for Rush Limbaugh, and then he would also do stuff on so there's Mark Stein, and then there's this guy. Okay. But it's not Mark Stein, it's another guy. But he's been on Fox News for years, for like a decade or more. Maybe a couple of decades.
I still want to know if they have fucking an American that can possibly do this. because and I realized that one of them was for the Spanish channel. I get all that. I understand it, but can they not find somebody who speaks good English to be the moderator? Because I couldn't understand half the shit she said.
Yeah.
You know, and this doesn't have anything.
Marcus is racist.
America's diversity. How you dare you take it away from us?
I know. Apparently, I want to be able to understand a motherfucker when I'm in America watching an American debate. Call me weird. I want to be able to understand.
Subtitle TVs. Okay.
Right. Apparently,
hey, look,
I gotta.
You know, so this is what's funny about that you said that, Nicco. So my mother-in-law, my wife's Cuban, so you know both her parents are Cuban. But anyway, my mother-in-law watches shows. Whenever she watches a movie, she watches them subtitled in English. So I'm like, wait, you speak Spanish as your native language, but when you want to watch a movie, because what it is she understands English, but she wants to make sure she's hearing it right. And so she just wants to read while they're speaking English. She doesn't want to read it in Spanish while they're speaking English. She wants to read it in English while they're speaking in English, so that if she misses something, she can see it. But it's just funny to watch a native Spanish speaker watching and insisting on having subtitles and then doing it because she's just like me. It's just like, I just want to be able to make sure I understood what they said, and I just go read it.
Yeah. So, yeah. But
more of a deafness thing than a language thing.
For sure, and then that makes sense to me. If English was my second language, I'd probably do a similar thing, because then it makes you better at speaking and reading.
Yeah, that too. English. Yeah, I don't think she's worried about that though. She's like 80, so it's
right.
She's like, that ship has sailed. She's like, yeah, I don't care if I learn anything anymore.
But the Spanish chick's questions were shitty too. Even though I felt bad for Mike Pence because he got two
teleprompted. You don't think that they're like preordained questions?
For sure. 100%. 100%. All of those fucking questions. You could tell right out of the gate. The first question.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like Tim Scott, the only reason that dude, and the people are going to say I'm racist as fuck because I've been going after the fucking Spanish chick. Now I'm going after Tim Scott. That dude, man, I don't know. The only reason he's on the stage is because he's black and a bunch of white conservatives feel guilty and want to vote for his ass. That is the entire reason, because he had no charisma. He sounded like he was reading like a motivational speech every time he went into some shit.
The weirdest exchange was him and Nikki Haley talking about curtains. I was like,
I know.
Well, we're
talking about
curtains. Curtains. We're talking about curtains, not a window. Curtains.
Yeah. Anya watched this shit with me, right? And she was like, don't we have something better to talk about than curtains? You know, my 13-year-old daughter is like,
are y'all talking about a fucking house accessory?
Right.
When we're talking about like the leaders the baby leader of the leader of our world. What the fuck are y'all doing here? We didn't come here for an IKEA talk.
Right. Yeah. But I felt bad for Mike Pence at times because the Hispanic chick asked him two questions that were based in demographics. They were like, what are you going to do for Hispanic Americans for this and that and the other thing? And Mike Pence is like,
nothing.
No, he was like, the truth was
that's
nothing.
Awesome though. I love putting Mike Pence on the spot like that.
This dude, man, he was just, I felt bad for him because every time he's like, the same thing I'm gonna do for everybody else. Which in reality means
the thing is though, like
people,
Mike Pence is the kind of dude who you could ask him something like, "So, Mike Pence, why don't you like Mexicans?" He'd be like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I love my housekeeper and my yard man." You know, like he'd say some shit like that. Like he'd be like,
"Not racist."
100%.
Like, I'm not racist. I have a Mexican housekeeper. What are you talking about? Like, oh my god!
Right. It was good. Him and Tim Scott didn't get into it.
Him.
Right.
What did you say, Nicco?
I said the guy who shines my shoe is black. He's cool.
Right, exactly. and that's what I'm saying. It's good that he didn't get into it with Tim Scott, because who the fuck knows what would have come out of that. Because let's be clear, Mike Pence is so fucking white, he turned his hair white. I mean, this dude is like
he's white. So white. You know how they say, like, you know, white on rice or whatever? That fly was on him like stink on shit, man. Remember that when in the 2020 vice presidential debate when Mike Pence
everybody
had a fly
talked about the fly instead of the debate. That just shows you for the past I don't know how many years.
So when I got a new phone and I had to log in differently so Marcus and I were talking on the phone yesterday when we were linking that stuff up and everything, and I said something very similar where I was like, if you could have the best possible presidential candidate that there could be, and if that person, God forbid, had like a booger for like 10 seconds during that debate, all you would hear about is that booger. What did he say? Sponsored by Home Goods. Yes, indeed. 100%. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of it, listen, sidebar. I gotta throw a little shout out. Y'all got Aldi up there, right? Like that's a thing up there. Okay, listen. I'm gonna send y'all a picture later. But I was just fucking around. So you remember when you used to like you could get like those video projectors or whatever, like an HD projector, and you could have like a movie projector in your house. And like people were setting up their home theaters, and those things were like anywhere from like $500 to like $3,000, depending on how good it was. Yeah, and people had like fucking plasma projectors and shit. It was like retarded expensive and all that. If you ever, because like even if you go like to Walmart and get like the cheapest like 30-inch TV, it's still going to cost you like $100, maybe $200, right? Maybe $250. I don't know. Like Black Friday is coming up, it might be a little cheaper than that, but you get my drift. It's going to cost you about $100. All right. They have an Aldi like an hour from my house, and my wife and I went to Houston, and on our way back, she's been like getting hyped up about Aldi coming to Baton Rouge for like they're supposed to have 2 of them. She's been getting so hyped up about it. She's been so excited. I was like, I don't know what the deal is. Like, I've been to them when I travel, like up in Michigan and everything. It ain't shit. Like, it's not like to me. I if I'm gonna go with one of those 2, I prefer Trader Joe's. Honestly, there's more like
Trader Joe's is cheap.
Trader Joe's is the bougie Aldi's. Let's be honest here.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Right. That's what I was gonna say. Aldi's is cheaper though.
Yes. So I was like, it's kind of like Dollar General, Trader Joe's. You know, like it's like it's like that, but like whatever. We'll go. And so like we pull off, and I was like, oh, I know where we're gonna go. So I pull off at the exit, and I don't tell her where we're going. And she's like, Aldi. She's all excited and everything. She's never been. I was like, all right, here we go. So we go in there, bro. You know who got the most killer shit out of that whole fucking trip?
You did.
Right here. I got for $17.50. They have this fucking 1080p projector. I'm gonna send y'all a picture. She was watching something on the TV.
Yes. Aldi.
She said HDMI in, like you just plug like your Apple TV or your Roku or whatever into that thing. And you can also do like it'd be hard to do it out of your phone or anything like that, but like out of a computer, if you got an HDMI port or anything that you can get audio video out of it. Yeah. No shit. Yes. Listen, so I have a big empty space on my wall where we're supposed to have hung something, and we just haven't gotten around to it in 3 years. But that's beside the point. I tell her to stop reminding me that we need to do that because I'm going to get to it eventually. Anyway, so the TV's over here, and then I got the big screen over here with the projector. She's watching something she wants to watch, and I just got the football game last night on the screen. Bro, I'm telling you, like crystal clear, and that thing was probably like 100 inches wide.
That's
nice. Diagonal.
That's solid. That's solid as fuck.
Because massive. massive. So if you want to get, imagine how much it would cost for you to get a 100-inch TV, HD. You know, and it's only 1K. I granted, I get it. You know, it's not 2K or 4K, but it's still an HD projector on
I'll
the
take
side
that
of the
shit
wall.
all day for $17.
$17.50. I was like beside myself. She was like, "You're such a little boy. Like you're just like you're so geeked out about this little toy." I'm like,
all these baby girl. Where are we?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, what are you talking about?
What are we doing?
Get off me. Get off me. So get it while it's hot before they
for sure.
up. Because that is a nice little thing to have
fun.
in your back pocket. And then you because we're already, me and my son are already looking at, we're gonna drop a sheet in the backyard. Just it's a white sheet. I know it sounds worse than it is. But anyway, we're gonna project the screen onto it. Not
and you in the South too with the white sheet.
I know, right?
Hey, guys, I gotta jump for just a second. I'll be right back.
Ahead,
for sure.
All right, we don't need you anyway. So anyway, no. So I was so psyched, man. I was so hyped. Well, Nicco, what is there anything big going on in Chicago politics, election wise? Is there anything? Y'all got a governor's race or any kind of like state legislature shit or anything like that? Any initiatives
now? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I've still been in a shell. What is it?
You've been in grind mode, I know.
Yeah.
I was just curious. I didn't know if y'all had some ballot initiatives or anything like that. Sometimes this is where they sneak those little amendments in an off-year election.
Chicago breaking news. Now you never go to the Chicago Tribune because it's on some bullshit like all these other news.
You go to the Sun Times or what?
No, I just went to Chicago Tribune. I went to see what was posted on their front page because I know nothing on this fucking website is going to be real.
Yeah.
Naperville police find a machine gun. Okay, at Top Golf. That's interesting.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, one of my dudes I work with, some dude gave him a potato gun, and he's like,
"Oh, that bitch is launched, doesn't it? It's like pressurized, right?"
Yeah. It's crazy. It's like there's like I don't remember the different chemicals and everything that you put in there, but it's like I don't know, it's like vinegar and lemon juice and some other shit, like, and it just goes boom.
Oh yeah.
Launch.
Those motherfuckers fling. Bro, it's nothing but fucking injuries and depressing. I want to see. You know what though?
They don't have like a politics tab at the top.
No, I was about to say they gotta have a politics.
Registration. Teaching Nicco how to use the internet.
Yeah, thank you.
Joe Biden said black people don't know how to use the internet. That's why they can't register.
Yeah, no, all we do is shine shoes.
Oh shit! You remember that when he was like, "There's some people who don't know how to use the internet," and it's like, "Oh my god!" And then people were posting, they were posting all kind of crazy shit. There were some of the most hilarious gifs and shit posted after that.
Oh yeah, when he first got elected, even though it was a shitty time for all of us, it was hilarious with all the memes that they were coming out.
Oh yeah, they had like a baboon running around throwing the laptop up against the wall and everything. It's like, oh my god, y'all are crazy. Oh shit.
Registration of high-powered guns owned before Illinois ban take effect begins this month.
Holy shit.
I'm surprised they even allow. Oh well, they're gonna ban it, but this is a democratic state. They don't like anybody having anything other than slingshots, and that's a risk.
Yeah, I was gonna say y'all are like London in the Midwest. Like all you can do is use a butter knife.
Yeah, basically.
Bet I will show you how much damage I can do with a butter knife.
Right.
Just stand still. Let me talk to you.
That's the thing. Is like if you look at how creative some of the most psychopathic, antisocial people have been, the means of killing people has never been a problem.
Yeah. Right.
It really isn't.
Psychopaths will figure it out.
It's up here. Like the problem is up here, and really the problem's in here too. Like that's and it goes back to what we were talking about before, where it's this this thing that nobody wants to talk about because it's so much easier and more convenient for people to look at the people around them and blame them, because then you don't have to look at the at the speck in your own. I mean, at the plank in your own eye while you're looking at all the specks in everybody else's eye and trying to rule them and
I'm glad that you brought that up, because I mean, we technically can segue that back into this debate on how everybody's talking shit about a different governor, but like the kind of taxes and all, not taxes, but like the kind of like skeletons that are in their closets at their state are like, oh, well, I know I'm doing the exact same thing that this man's doing, but I'm not going to announce it. I'm just going to address his shit.
Sure.
Well, that's why it was always funny when Ron Paul was in a debate, because they'd ask him about like income taxes and stuff, and he'd be like 0. Right. And like everybody else is up there arguing about like, this guy's going to tax us to death. And it's like, I'm going to cut taxes. And what they mean is one guy says it should be 35%. The other guy says it should be 33.5%.
Right.
And that's the difference. That's what they're yelling at each other about. And I'm like, so like, this is like, how deep in my back is the knife?
Right.
All the way, like just a quarter-inch back the hilt out, you know, like what are we talking about here?
Yeah, my favorite Ron Paul answer though was when they asked him. They said because they give him so many questions and what have you, and they asked Ron Paul. They said, Mr. Paul or Dr. Paul, it for the first time, because it's been like this for a while, but at the time it was the first time it said, for the first time 51% of the American people do not pay taxes, and 49% of the people are paying the taxes. What do you have to say about that? And Ron Paul said, we're halfway there.
Yeah, look, like no shit. I know there's a lot of the people, especially like in our circles, that Hotep Nation and everybody else. There's a lot of conservatives and like semi-conservatives, libertarian-ish, anarchist-ish, but they're still kind of conservative in that. And there's a lot of debate about like illegal immigration and all that stuff. I got to go back to an old Adam saying, like, I have a lot of respect for the illegal immigrants, because they basically, I'm sort of jealous. Like, they look at the system the same way I do. They just actually say, fuck it. I'm not doing that shit. Like,
right.
I'm gonna get paid in cash, and I'm gonna like hide from the system, and I'm gonna like go like do my thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier.
Try to catch me.
I think it's a lot easier for them as well, because they don't do it by themselves. They do it in like full-fledged community.
Oh, for sure.
Try and send somebody over here, and guess what? You ain't getting no answers. You might be locked in a cage next, ICE officer. So like, you gotta think like it when they're doing that shit. It's not single-handedly, because if one person just randomly stop paying taxes on this block, it's a shit show for that one person. Dude. Now, if the whole community was like, hey guys, you know what? I think I'm not going to pay for shit now.
They come over here with no social security number, no tax ID, no nothing, no expectation that they're going to pay taxes. They get paid in cash. They pay for their stuff in cash. They live in an apartment where they're paying rent in cash.
Cash.
The apartment people are like, sounds great to me. You're going to pay me in cash? Hell yeah.
Right.
I don't have to wait for your check to bounce and then pay the bank the check fee and all this other bullshit. Yeah, great.
Dude, and they'll have like 2 families living in a 2-bedroom apartment too.
Yeah, too.
But,
but Nicco brings a good point though about how it's and like what you're saying with the fact that it's community based and you have like strength in numbers, you're not out there alone.
Right. For sure. And one of the things that when I used to work pseudo construction back in the day, it was office furniture, but we had a guy that worked with us. We had several Mexicans that worked with us. There was one guy named Ronaldo I liked to mess with, and we were on the way to work.
He plays soccer now.
Right. but we passed a Chevette with 10 Mexicans in it. A Chevette, 10 Mexicans in it. And I got to work and I said, Ronaldo, are you lonely? Because this motherfucker was the only Mexican we had. We had him.
You aren't helping your case, Marcus. You sound really racist.
Bro, Marcus is like the low key most racist person I know. It's so funny. Oh my god.
No, what it is I treat people like people. I fuck with everyone, every single fucking person.
Wait.
I like
people like people. What about aliens? Do you treat them the same?
Yes, I would treat aliens just like I treat everybody else. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna make fun of them.
Because I'm watching a few weeks back. So I switched over to I was on Sling TV. I switched over to YouTube TV a while back, which it's really great. You can do like quad box shit for like college football and stuff. Can't do it for NFL because there's not enough games that they'll let you show. But like every Saturday, I can pull up like 4 games on this TV and 4 different games on this TV, and I can just be like sitting there while I'm like getting ready to grill and all that shit. It's epic. But anyway, I noticed they had like the whole Alien saga, and I gotta be honest, like I never watched Alien when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
I watched parts of it when it was like on TBS or whatever, and so I like kind of knew, I kind of had the idea.
Right.
I saw most of Aliens, but I never saw the whole thing. And Alien 3, never saw that. So I just watched them all the way through. And there's one, I think it's Alien 3, where Bill Paxton is in it.
I don't remember.
And then there's like this. So it's set like in the future, right?
Okay,
like
I remember.
Way in the future. But Bill Paxton is in it. And there's like this Mexican girl on their crew. And he's like, yeah. She heard aliens and she thought we meant illegal, and I was like, oh my god, like that was crazy. Yeah. They were reckless back then.
Oh, for sure.
You could do, and that's James Cameron, who's like a mega liberal. Like,
oh yeah,
he's just like, so I don't. It's just wild the kind of stuff that people used to say on TV and in movies and everything that you just don't say that kind of shit anymore.
I say whatever the fuck I want because I don't care. But where I'm at is. If you think truly think I'm racist, you aren't paying any goddamn attention. Because I treat everybody exactly the same. I'm gonna fuck with you regardless.
No, that's one of the things. It's hard though for people because sometimes people don't. Some people get sensitive and they get their sensibilities kind of tenderized a little bit. But I'm one of those people that like, if I'm not fucking with you, I'm probably like. Just like, yeah, I don't want to spend time with you. Like, can you just go away? Right. If I'm fucking with you, if I'm like, making fun of you or like, trying to like get under your skin or something like that, it'll be playful, but I'm still gonna I'm gonna fuck with you.
Oh,
that means that means I respect you.
Some people just don't have that cognitive understanding of awareness. It's a joke. Take it like a joke, please. Not like a penis, a joke.
Right.
Like I need y'all to understand, like it's nothing that you need to hold on, but that's what everybody holds on to, just like how there's a fucking fly on Joe Biden's head. Like there's everything that people hold on to, but like there's nothing that they really grasp from it. Yes, I said you were an illegal alien. I wasn't saying you were, I was just making a joke, big dog. Like
right.
You did cross the border, didn't you? Like,
right. Yeah.
It also matters if like you gotta know your audience too. Like you can't just do that to some random person. Like there's certain stuff that you can't do to somebody you don't know because they don't know where that's coming from, what it means. But like I had some friends. We were in college. I probably told y'all this story before. I don't know. Maybe I did it. Maybe I didn't. But 2 guys that play football for LSU. So we're on a men's group team together or whatever on campus, and we're sitting at a table. Like it's the 3 of us sitting at this table, and I have like my backpack behind the thing, and there's like a whole room of people waiting for us because like we're gonna talk and then they're gonna ask us questions and everything. It was a little panel discussion that we were leading, and so we're the panel. So it's me and 2 black guys up on the stage, and I reach into my backpack. This is before it starts. I reach into my backpack and I pull out. I had some Bubblicious gum back there. Did I tell you the story already, Nicco?
No, it's just that you're white and you're reaching for your book bag.
No. So I reach back there. I got some Bubblicious gum, and so I break it out. I open up a piece, and so it was like bubblegum flavor or whatever. So Gabe, my friend Gabe Northern, he goes, "Oh damn, you got another piece of gum? Can I have a piece of gum?" I was like, "Yeah." Oh, hold up. So I go in. I got a watermelon pack of gum. And he just turns to Shedrick Wilson. He just goes, "Oh shit! Did you see what he just did?" But it was like we knew we were tight. Like it was cool. Like it was just a joke among friends, and I was just fucking with him.
Wait,
I was fucking
Chad,
with him.
can you like officially say like if your group chat conversations got leaked? Yeah.
No, so I don't know. I don't have any. So I'm smart enough that I don't do that shit in writing.
Yeah.
I do stuff like that. I do that stuff
in
like
person.
That in person.
All in person.
In person only.
But
where
in regards to those actions that you did.
Because text stuff can be taken out of context. It can be sent to somebody with no background or anything like that. Nothing about like all the other shit that they said to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I will do is I'll tweet some stuff in a thread of like some other stuff that other people tweeted, where like what's his face? Duke Lucas will put out this shit about like white people activities all the time, and it's like people bungee jumping into like a spaghetti pot or something. It's like some weird shit, like or they're tackling an alligator or something. And so I just made the joke. I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. It's always white people activities until it becomes cool and popular, and then all of a sudden the ancient Egyptians invented it, and we stole it from y'all. And so I'll do something like that because like there's context built into it. Where first of all he says, "Is this white people activities?" And I'll be like, "You damn right it is. You're too pussy to do it. Come on." And I'll just like talk shit right back. But anyway, it's just. That's where when it's all in fun and like they know they're being like fake racist to me and I'm being fake racist back to them.
No, I'm not being fake racist.
It's all jokes. You're not being fake.
Fair enough.
Let it fly, man.
Big dog. What I'm saying, I mean it. But here's $5 for your Subway sandwich.
I'm just trying to make this more entertaining than the vice presidential debate was.
For sure. And like I said, man, it's so bad when you know you got a token Indian, you got a token black guy, and you got a token woman.
You got two token Indians. Because Nikki Haley is too.
Is she really? I didn't know that. She was a white chick.
Yeah, no.
She needs to get a little bit more color in that skin.
She may maybe Pakistan. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember. I think she's Indian. Let's look it up.
She looks white.
You keep talking. I'm gonna look it up. All right.
But these assholes still, what really got to me was there was no fucking real debate. Like Nicco said earlier, this was just them arguing over minutia because most of them agree about everything and they're just attacking each other. And the one thing that Nikki Haley did, man, she attacked everybody. She did not give two shits. They started off with, we're in Ronald Reagan's library and we're going to be nice to each other. The fuck, Nikki Haley was like, fuck yourself. And she said, you suck cause this and you suck cause that. And nobody let fucking Ramaswamy say a goddamn thing. They shut him down at every fucking turn. But I gotta get to Ron DeSantis, who is the supposed to be these assholes.
Real quick before you do that, Nikki Haley was born a day after my birthday, but 2 years earlier. She's to Indian Sikh parents, immigrant, and she was her father was a professor at Punjab. Our agricultural university. So there you go. She lives in South Carolina now, but that ain't where she's from. But yeah, so go ahead.
But
Ron DeSantis.
But I got to get to Ron DeSantis because I think it was smart for him to try to stay out of it and just make his points and get out, which I think was smart on his behalf because Ramaswamy came off looking like an asshole because he kept over talking people because they were interrupting him and doing stuff like that. But the one thing about Ron DeSantis though is he is not photogenic. This dude the whole time looked like he had been somebody had pissed in his Wheaties the whole time. Regardless of what was going on, he looked like somebody just stepped on his testicles. I do not understand how he is doing as well as he is. Do you
remember the thing they made? They made that meme of him smiling when everybody had to smile.
Right? Yeah, it's fake. Yeah, and he's like,
you look like you look like somebody shoving a cucumber up your ass, man. Like he was in pain.
Right. Oh, for sure. But
Scott said he hopes he's going to be photogenic.
Hell no, he's not photogenic. This motherfucker's got a belly bigger than mine, and the rest of him's like smaller than me.
Oh shit, man!
But Scott's one of those that kind of like what you were talking about, because he's probably going to run for office. Scott is likely to be running for the district that I live in here in Indiana, and I'd vote for him. Man, I would vote for him over and over and over again because I don't
even know why, but pause.
Yeah, well, the reason is because he is a Ron Paul in disguise. And because I know where his politics lie, and I know that he says good shirts hide his belly. The fuck, I'm telling you.
He's filling out the paperwork now. Okay, let's go.
Right on.
Let's go.
But no, he really is a good guy, and I know that when we disagree, which to be blunt, isn't that often. He's like for sure a libertarian leaning GOP member. That's for sure. I don't know if I want to call him a conservative. He probably will have to. I've told him he needs to get his ass in church, but because he should go to church because that's going to be something that the constituents care about. But he's going to be
other reasons
like Ron
to
Paul.
go to church, but yeah, that's part of it.
I was about to say you couldn't post like you like kneeling down on a pew from like confirmation photos.
Dude, you don't understand. I've been friends with this guy since I was 17 years old. So let's just say he needs to get his ass to church if he's going to get elected. Because the first thing they're going to see,
go see some Jesus, big dog.
Right, for sure. This dude's got to get some more Jesus in his life to combat. You had Marcus Pulis in your fucking life. But it is what it is. But no, seriously, he will make a wonderful. He will line right up with Thomas Massey as one of the people that are in government that I can stomach. And so I again, there are good people out there that are using the ballot box to try to make some change. I don't think it's going to work in the long term because if he gets in there, we got what, 2? So it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I agree with Lysander Spooner, who said that we need to that it is just to vote in self-defense. And if I know for sure, like I do with Scott, that's somebody who is certainly going to be hard to pay off. And it's not that he doesn't like money. Everybody likes money, but he's got principles. Money. Yeah, for sure. But none of these people that were on the stage, not a single one of those people, but maybe the guy from North Dakota, because he didn't get to talk. But none of the other people have any principles. None. They are for sale to the highest bidder, whatever it is. And to give my opinion of them, the best of them politically, aside from the guy from North Dakota, because I don't know, is Ramaswamy, and I couldn't vote for him. Could not, would not. If he was the guy, and everybody else was, we got Biden or somebody else, I still am not going to vote for that dude because he is a police state lover, and I just can't do it. But that was kind of my understanding of the whole thing, is that on substance, Ramaswamy is certainly who I was closest to, although very far from all of them. But I really do think that Nikki Haley won it because she at least kept herself alive. People will flock to her because of that debate. She'll see her poll numbers go up.
Yeah.
So Chad, did you want to talk about some other experiences from this weekend? We had talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. Maybe I don't know. I've been kind of kicking that around in my head whether I want to or not. But I don't know. I think I can just, generally speaking, I think I can just, maybe there'll be another time where I'll have a better way of saying what I need to say, but doing it in a way that isn't that's completely respectful of everybody who might be involved in it, because it's
Sure.
I don't know, there's a lot of people, a lot of stuff going on that there are a lot of people going through some stuff, and that's, you know, back to what I was saying before about, you know, not becoming the monsters that you claim that you're fighting against. When it comes to some of this identity stuff and everything and all that, like, sometimes the best thing that we can do is like not get in the way of them finding a true path to like true happiness and a real experience with the design that we all have as human beings to reach our ultimate fulfillment. And it's not, everything's not up to me and me having to say something to get somebody to see something that I see or think I see better than they do. I know I'm speaking very vaguely, but anyway, just be careful that when you're navigating through this stuff and you see some stuff that you think is either evil or is suboptimal or whatever, or everywhere in between, the first place that you can start to do good in the world is with yourself, is working on cleaning up your own house, cleaning up your own dirty laundry. Because we all have our own, we all have on a certain level contributed to the debauchery and the even like the violence and the all that stuff. When we act out of anger and we act out of like frustration and impatience and pride, all of these things are the things that piss us off when we see other people doing them. But then we justify ourselves when we do them. And that's something I struggle with. And it's been like actually through going through the process of recognizing in myself all the stuff that I still really need to work hard on with like my temper and impatience and some of like the way that I let myself get pulled off of track by bad habits or anything like that. When I see other people doing the same thing, it's almost like I feel like I'll somehow be justified if I can get them to, or if I can clamor about like, you're bad, you're not doing it, you're letting this stuff pull you off of your path, and you're being too impatient and you're getting angry too much. And it's like, what I'm doing is I'm really talking to myself, but I'm ashamed or afraid to, or maybe I'm not afraid or ashamed, but I'm not willing, because the work's hard, to do the work that it takes. And so I want somebody else to do it, because then if they do it and I feel like I somehow like talked them into doing it, that I did my job, and here I am still like a piece of shit. So anyway, that was it. Is like,
sure.
My wife and I went to a concert, and there was some stuff that I think would have probably like made a lot of people's hair stand up, made them cringe, made their stomachs turn. And it was an eye-opening experience for me from the standpoint of like seeing the real fuck it, I'm gonna just go into it. All right, here we go. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right, so we went to this concert on Tuesday, and it's this chick that like, she's, well, I say chick, she doesn't go by chick, she uses they them pronouns, but whatever. I think it's an interesting, I have, Marcus and I talked about this, I have more of a gripe with improper use of the English language than I do with you deciding to call yourself something. Like, you can't be a plural. Like,
yeah, no, that's just stupid. You can't be a them. You're just a single individual.
I was like, all right, listen, bet you want to call yourself they them. You want me to call you they them. You have to, when you're speaking, you can't say I or me. You have to say we and us. because if that's going to be, if you talk plural, otherwise I'm going to get confused. It's already confusing for me. I'm just an old-fashioned dude from like born in the 70s. So like you got to have some patience with me. And also you have to like step up and like do your part. Anyway, that's beside the point. She was like the lead act that my wife wanted to go see. It's some chick that's like, there's this show on Netflix that there's this real estate, all these hot real estate bitches that sell real estate in California. And one of the people on there, her girlfriend now, like she got like divorced from her first husband.
Is it a them friend?
No, it's a girl. She's a girl. And it's funny because one of her songs it's called Gay for Me. And the way the song goes is she says she's only gay for me. And so like this girl's singing about this other girl that like she's had two husbands and now she's with this they them. She's not a girl, she's non-binary, whatever. Anyway, but she
all confusing.
She says she's only gay for her. And so she's like I don't have I'm not like gay, but I'm gay for you. Like that's her thing. So anyway, it's just kind of funny that like this girl, so she had one husband cheated on her, the other husband didn't want to have kids, so she was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna go where you can't possibly have kids and just do that anyway. So I was like, all right, well, that I don't understand your logic, but if it works for you, there's other things I've got that are more important than me trying to convince you that that's kind of retarded. Like he wouldn't have kids, so I went with a girl. Like, what? Okay. Did you really want kids? This is weird. So, but anyway, going back to the other thing. So the opening act was, it was difficult. Like, I'm going to be honest. I would have thought that like this sort of situation would have made me mad, but it actually like, I connected on like a very compassionate level with what I was seeing, what was going on. So this girl her name is this also perhaps non-binary. I don't remember. It's so hard to keep up. I don't remember. She used to be a girl. I mean, in my mind she's still anyway. Whatever.
She is a girl. She has girl parts.
She had not all of them. She had.
Well, does she have a penis?
No, well, as far as I know, no, Marcus. Because what she said was she had she had top surgery, but she didn't say anything about the other part. So
she's a flat-chested woman. Got it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get it because I'm trying to be more sensitive. No, I'm serious. Trying to be more sensitive to that. I'm making light of it because it's like a gallows laughter almost sort of thing. Sure. That may be where I end up when I'm done. Who knows? But so there's this song. I wanted to play it for y'all before, but I was having so much trouble with my computer that I couldn't do it. But it's the name of this song is The Daughter That My Mother Wanted or something like that. And it's these two chicks singing, these two former chicks, whatever, singing this song about like that they feel like they're being haunted by the daughter that their mother wanted, and that like this ghost is following them around, and like it's really sad. And to hear like one of the lines in the song is that like she's talking about, she's describing this girl, this ghost girl, whatever. She says, I bet you she's pretty and always says please and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, I bet her parents tell her they're proud. I don't really ever hear that now. And I was just like, damn, man, like imagine, because I have some issues like that with my parents where like they come from like this old, like their parents grew up in the Depression. And so like everything is just like, you don't deserve anything. And you gotta, like, look up, I gave you food. That should be enough. You know what I mean? That kind of like old school mentality and everything. And so sometimes it's just like I'll tell them something. I'll be like, oh yeah, look what my kids did. And they're like, oh, it's a shame they're not doing that for church. And I'm like, what? Okay. Like, you can't just be like, oh, that's awesome. Like it's some other like weird negative vibe that I get from like, yeah, they get up every morning at 5:30 in the morning without my help to go to basketball practice and to go lift weights and everything because that's and they're like, well, it's a shame they're not going to mass. I'm like, they're 14 and 17,
right.
and like
kids.
They have basketball practice. So that's why they're like, what are they supposed to do? Say, sorry, coach, I decided I'm going to start going to daily mass at 5 o'clock. What the hell are you talking about? Just say like, that's really cool. That's awesome. Can it just be like, hey, your kids are pretty level-headed and well put together? Like that would be cool. So I get it. And so I struggle with this, like trying to like talk to my kids in a way that doesn't make them feel the way that I feel sometimes with my parents. I can't imagine, bro. Can you imagine?
No.
Trying to be a parent, and your kid comes and says like, I don't think I am what y'all put on my birth certificate.
Yeah.
And,
I don't have that
to
going
navigate
on.
Like how to deal with that. And then like to be the
You're
kid,
the fucked up parent. You're the
to be the kid
to try and like,
right. And what influence did the parenting have in it? But then there's all this other stuff. There's the water, there's the food, there's all this stuff that's going on. There's the media propaganda, the stuff in movies and everything. And then like, it's tough. And so that's why I zoom all the way back and I'm like, what are we dealing with? We're dealing with like spiritual warfare. And you have to be really, really careful that what you're doing and what you're saying isn't going to accomplish the exact opposite of what you think it is.
Amen.
Because that's the danger. The danger is you think you're doing the right thing by, I'm standing there at this concert and I'm just like, they're saying all this stuff and everybody else is cheering. They're like, woohoo, you got your top surgery. And I'm just like inside, I'm like in tears, like, I'm like, damn, man, like it's really like that. Like we're cheering somebody like chopping themselves up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I get it. Like, I don't know what kind of prison that girl felt like she was in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know. Like but I know that prison was built by some evil ass shit.
Right.
And however that prison manifested itself, whether it was your parents not, loving you the way that you needed to be loved, or all the other different things, all the other different influences, the way that people have put shit into food and water and everything else and propagandize people.
What you've digested over time
it's all a big
formulate.
Yeah, it's a big soup that we're all caught up in. And that's why I say like every one of us is being impacted by this and is being pulled off of where we're supposed to be in our own little way. Maybe some of it's to different degrees for some people, and maybe it's different directions for some people, but none of us, we are all sinners. None of us is on the exact path that we are designed and built and called to be on. And so this is my opportunity to say, like, what I was hit with was like, I felt like a deep compassion and a deep, like, longing to have that, all of those wounds be healed. And I don't know how to do that. I'm not capable of it, but I'm certainly going to do everything I can to not lay more blows that create more wounds.
Amen. So. Yeah. And Chad and I had this conversation yesterday about this. And, one of the advices that I come from is that my oldest daughter, although she has decided that she's now interested in a male, but she was a lesbian for, she's 30 years old now, and she has just decided that she needs dick. But well, hey,
once you go sack, you can't go back.
Well, she went black too. So
see,
when that's part of the fun. When he joined our family, I told him, I said, "Yay!" I said, "Now we're gonna have color."
In the door, he said,
"Hi." no, seriously, no. One of the first things I told him is, I said, "Yay! You're gonna add color back into our family. We're not gonna be glowing white anymore." But anyhow, when she was 18 and she might have been 17, but she came out of the closet to me. My exact words to her were, "I have known since you were 12." And that's a fact. I knew that she was interested in girls long before she told me that she was interested in girls. And for me, it is all about love. The bottom line is, if my youngest daughter, who is still in the house, came to me and said, "Hey, I think I'm inside a boy," right? I would be like, okay, well, you're outside a girl. So I'm and you're outside a girl. That's awesome. And, but I would still love her. It would not matter. I might say, listen, I think this is all propaganda, and I think that it's been made popular, and lots of people are falling for just following the next trend that could also ruin their lives. And I would tell her that, and I would be honest about it. But I would also tell her, but I love you. Regardless if what you call yourself, what pronoun you need to be using, all of that crap, you're my daughter. And my job as a father is to love my kids. That's my job, and to teach them my values. So I'm going to teach them my values. I notice I teach it, I don't force it. You have to come to whatever my values are yourself. That's your choice. But I'm going to love you even if you tell me I'm full of shit. Even if you tell me, Dad, I'm sorry, I don't believe in any of this. I'm going to be a big statist and I'm going to do all I'm going to say, okay, well, you're wrong about that, but I love you, because that's what it's about. It's about love. And, you know, the thing is, lots of people like to use religion as a weapon as it relates to some of these subjects. And Jesus was very clear. And for those that are watching and possibly don't know my history, I'm not a Christian, but I very much follow many of the teachings of Jesus, because the dude knew what the hell he was talking about. And at the end of the day, he said that the two most important commandments were love God with all of your heart and love thy neighbor like thyself, or as thyself. And to me, those are the things that we need to be doing as a society. We need to keep our eyes focused on the divine and on that next world that is coming. Whether we want to believe it is or not, there is a spiritual war, as Chad's talked about multiple times, that is going on. And we need to make sure that we're on the side of goodness and we're on the side of divinity when it comes to that. How you do that is by focusing your life and your thoughts and your power and all of that stuff towards God. That goes to him. It's all about sacrifice and giving of yourself to become unified with the thing that I call God. And the second thing is how we manifest that on earth is by being good to people, by treating people as God would expect us to treat them. And so when Chad's talking about this, that is a hard thing, because a lot of our society is telling these people to deny God, to that there is no God, there is nothing out there but the physical realm. And so they're eating that up. And we have to say, as a person of faith, I disagree with you. There is a God, but I love you anyway. And that's very hard. And I think that Chad's inner God, if you will, is working with him and showing him that he's on the right path. And because he knew that compassion was the correct answer. So,
well, I don't know if I'm on the right path, but
what is the right path?
I think I'm more apt now to listen to the voices of the where the right path is than I was before, and it's what I tend to do. And I think, and this is where what my takeaway was from that whole situation was, like, I just think of it like, okay, like, man, first of all, thank God I'm not like in a position where I have to deal with the pain and the like the navigation of that. But at the same time, I'm like, well, let me not be like the Pharisee who's like, oh, thank God I'm not like that tax collector, and it's like, well, let me make sure I'm not like some other thing that I should be thanking God that I'm not, you know what I mean? like let me make sure that let me check myself. And that's the thing. It's like, if you're going about your day all day, every day, and instead of just looking at what everybody else is doing wrong and why it's to blame for all the shit that's going wrong in the world and everything that you're having to deal with and fight against and everything, and you're not checking yourself and looking at the obstacles that you've put in your own way and looking at all of this stuff, like everything, every step along the way, the world is what the world is, And most of why you're where you are, at least this is what I say to myself, the most of why I'm where I am is because of the choices I've made. And rather than me try to blame somebody else for something, I have to look in here and say, okay, what? Because if I don't do that, then I'm going to keep fucking up and making the same mistakes and digging my hole deeper.
Right.
The sooner you recognize, like, hey, you know what? I think I might be putting myself here. What am I doing? Let me read the data and try to figure out what I'm doing that isn't part of my design. Because if I'm putting lemon juice in my engine, it's probably going to seize up.
It don't work that way.
Or if I put it in my gas tank, it's probably not going to run. You know, it's going to fuck my fuel pump.
I thought it was supposed to be cleaning it. My bad.
Yeah, all messed up. But you see what I'm saying? Like it might be cheaper than oil or gasoline, you know, but it doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do with it. So, but if I keep putting it in there, I'm like, golly, so God has it out for me. He's not making this lemon juice work in this engine. It's like, no, man, like maybe you need to re-examine what like God's plan is for what you're supposed to do and why you're here. And stop worrying about what God's plan is supposed to be for everybody else, because you don't know, because you're not getting the signals from God about what they're supposed to do. You're only getting signals from God about what you're supposed to do. And if you're not listening and you're drowning all that out with noise, then you're going to naturally end up where we all end up, which is wondering what the fuck is going on and why it's happening to us. Why me? Remember when you had the thing where you're like, why me? But then you broke it down and you're like, this is why me. Like, I know what it is. But I'm going to be all right. And you are. Now you're everything turned around.
Yep. So Nicco, you got any last things to say before we out?
No, I mean, other than don't vote for none of these dumbasses.
Brought it all the way back.
Yeah. But to regards of what Chad was saying, like that's a buck. And we can bring it back to this debate issue or topic because of it's all on us. And we're the ones who are steering this big ass ship, aka America. Everybody's got their specific cog and a gear in their household to help this bitch move fluently and sufficiently. Yet we're so worried about, hey, why is that nigga's gear and goopy over there? And yours has been rusted and ain't move a tick and iota. And you're so focused on something else. Just work on your gears, man. Work on your gears. Pay attention to your shit. And when I say work on your gears, that's for me. I need to be a lot more aware. So Chad hit me up with hey, what's going on in Illinois? I have no fucking idea. I'm sorry. But like, until there's a nuke that's been dropped or a zombie apocalypse right behind me, I'm going to be working on my grind and worrying about my people. And essentially, that's what you need to be doing. Is work on your grind, work on your people, and work on everything else. Because all the other shit will get you convoluted, it'll get you depressed, it'll get you stressed, and all that unnecessary shit that just doesn't need to be a part of your life. So, yeah, use discernment in everything you do, not just filling in a bubble and saying, well, I hope this is the right choice. No, ladies and gentlemen, that guy just signed for Pulis to be all firefighters around the world. Thank you. So, be smart.
That's the most random policy ever. Holy cow!
Aren't there all their policies random
government shit? That's some city count. I mean, student council shit right there. Like, I'm gonna make all the firemen poodles.
Yep.
Right. Vice president.
Right, for sure. Or
I got an answer that's running our finances. Try me.
Chris Christie wants all the donuts to be president. Sorry, I gotta stand this fast.
I did think of a good idea though the other day. Speaking of donuts, I was thinking, like, what if you had a place where it was like a donut shop with like a basketball court with like 8-foot goals, and it could be called Dunkin' Donuts.
Terrible.
Dunk and donuts, and then it's just like a playground.
It's like McDowell's and McDonald's. You're just off a little bit. Hey,
Dunk and donuts.
Right on. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. This has been fun, poking fun at the fucking idiots, and everybody needs to stay free.
Oh, you're You're too early on.